If you watch the channel regularly, you know I recently pulled my very first mythical from a primal shard, and it was none other than Siegfrund The Nephilim, and I already had a 6-star soul just waiting for him when he hit my account. So I have built him out. I've been messing around with him. This isn't like his final form, but it's a pretty good first build. And yeah, I want to show you what he can do. So in today's video, I'm going to take Siegfrund and some friends into Amius the Lunar Archon hard mode. I'm going to use this mythical champion to stomp that mythical boss and get myself some rewards. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get started. Before we go any further, let me show you my build for Siegfrund the Nephilim. Just be advised, this is a very early build. I never thought I would own this guy, so I haven't done a lot of research on him. I did ask chat for recommended builds in the last video where I featured him. And initially I thought I was going to use him for PvP. I thought that was where I really wanted to use him. Now I'm starting to rethink that. I think I might get more value out of building him for speed farming PvE. So I'm going to be asking you for suggestions for gearing in the comments. If you have Siegfrund with specifically a 6-star blessing, please let me know where you think his best case use is and how you build him and what kind of benefits you get out of that. Because I can do some research, but content creators don't go over the top with champions like this too often because a lot of people don't have them. So like there are some guides out there, but nothing that I've fallen in love with just yet. You could point out a good video if you know one. Now, the other thing that I want to share about this build is I didn't take anybody's gear. I didn't take any relics from anybody. This was just a first gearing to kind of get a feel for him, to see what he could do. But again, I did take the build idea from chat. So the idea was to put him in 4-piece lethal with 4-piece feral. And in that way, you get, the good damage, ignore defense from the lethal, plus the 4-piece feral gives you that block debuffs. And then also the blessing of lightning cage was the idea from chat as well, which I kind of like. I actually like this idea. Again, this feels like just a PvP thing. It's not going to really help you in PvE very much, especially not with speed farming. If I were going to swap him into a PvE build, I would probably end up going with Crushing Rend. Yeah. I'd also probably swap him out of Feral, right? I wouldn't need the Feral gear. He doesn't need accuracy. The Feral is just for the block debuffs. Now, I could go 6P. That doesn't make sense. He doesn't debuff or anything like that, so he really doesn't get sheeped as often. But anyway, so for PvE, I could obviously pull the Feral. I could get him into Merciless, or I could get him into Slayer, or I could get him into a combination of Lethal and Cruel. So I could definitely push the ignored defense here. Just so let's look at the stats, I guess, first, the overall stats. So as you can see, the attack is respectable, but not top tier, right? 5,700 attack. On my account, probably my max is somewhere around 7.5K. If I really pushed it, I might be able to get to like 8,000. Probably my highest attack number on any champion is probably in the 7,000s somewhere. Speed is respectable at 275. Might be faster than I need, and that would be one way to push attack, right? Because I have speed boots on him. But I could trade 45 speed. I'd still be at 230 and get attack boots here, and that would give me, another maybe 1,000, at least 1,000 attack. So that'd be one way to push the attack stat a little bit more. Crit damage here is solid at 308, but not outstanding. But if you look at my gear, I missed the crit damage roll here on the gauntlets. I missed the crit damage roll here on the amulet. So that's, I think, 40%. No, it's 30. It's another 32% or something like that. 32% crit damage there at least. In addition, the relic I have, I didn't steal anybody's relic, like I said. I only have one Cat's Gaze on my account, And that's on Thorian Wallmaster right now, and he's on my Nightmare Hydra team, so I didn't want to pull that off of him. I do have some lesser relics that I could pull for crit damage if I wanted to get some. There is crit damage here on the Hammer of Ending, which is, again, probably a PvP thing, but I don't know how much crit damage it would actually get me. But there are other relics that I could pull to get more crit damage. So in the end, if I wanted to stay with this build, but kind of optimize it, I would probably end up with somewhere around maybe close to 7,000 attack, like 230, 235 speed, you know, maybe 360, somewhere around 360% crit damage once I got it all sorted out. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 370. And then that would be it. Yeah, that would be about where it would end up, which would feel pretty good to me on my account. Again, you know, as a free-to-play player, it's hard for me to really get the top crazy kind of level of gear. But I do okay. I do okay. But anyway, so like I said, I just put him in this build to kind of feel him out. And I'll have to admit, he got stomped in Arena. I don't think it's his fault. I don't think it's the build's fault. I think it's my misunderstanding of how to play the champion. So the team composition that I'm putting him in and when I'm picking him and how, you know, what I'm doing with him, I think is subpar, and I do better with other champions. I don't think that means he's bad at PvP by any stretch of the imagination. I just think either I don't have the right champions right now built for PvP, especially live arena, that would optimize him, you know, like put him in the best scenario, or I just don't understand the strategy of like how to pick them and build with the champions that I do have. So I'll keep messing around with him. I'll be paying attention to what other players do with him to try to learn their tips and tricks. And also, you know, if you have any suggestions for videos, because one of the things that I've noticed about some mythical champions is there aren't as many videos on these champions all the time, because not everybody has them. So, content creators want to concentrate on more accessible champions than the mythicals. But yeah, so I'll be learning. I have had fun messing around with him a little bit, even in this subpar build. And one of the things that I wanted to show you today was Amius, the Lunar Archon, in hard mode. Now, I'll admit right here that this is the team. Like, this is the team right here. I don't even need a fifth champion. I could certainly put in, you know, Cupidus, who pairs with Venus really nicely. I could do Phoenix, who I now have a 6-star blessing on. Although I have to rebuild him too to get him more powerful, because he's built sort of like Amius is built in that he's strong enough for a lot of PvE content, but he's not built to take on endgame stuff like this is. I could go safe and I could do something like this. I would definitely say if you are building an Amius hard mode team, you want to look at champions that have high blessings. Like right now, my Venus only has a single star blessing. I got that single star just this week. I bought it on the marketplace. And she is underpowered for this. And if anybody's going to die, she's the one who's going to die. But I could certainly put in an epic who has, you know, I would say 4 stars kind of minimum is really where it starts to get safe. Could do something like this. That is fine. That works. 3 stars on Whisper. I could probably get away with it. I did this. I tried this a little bit just to mess around with that. Could certainly put in, you know, I mean, she doesn't do anything other than hit hard. You know, could do something like this. Maybe get that extra ally attack, which would not be a bad thing, actually. I think he also has... He has a buff strip, doesn't he? I don't really use Mad Hatter for anything. He's got the accuracy. Let's see. Stealing 1 random buff. Okay. X weaken. Duration of all buffs on all allies and decrease the duration of all buffs on all allies. That's not a bad thing. Fills turn meter. He's got a brimstone. 5-star brimstone could be nice. But here's the thing. You need to time when you kill Amius, right? Because you always want to kill him in his base form, in his first form. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick with, well, I don't know. Let's bring in Phoenix. And We'll kind of see how we do here. I don't think Phoenix actually hits that hard. And I don't think he has the accuracy either, but he'll do a little bit of damage, and that's all we really need. I could actually also bring in Venomage, because Venomage is, you know, the perfect champion for Amius with the heal reduction. But as you can see, only 3 stars. I've done it before with Venomage. You can get away with 3 stars if your Venomage is tanky enough. But yeah, let's just bring in Phoenix. It'll be fun with the ally attack. And let's see how we do here. So, a couple of things about this team. First of all, we have poisons and HP burns on Venus, which are really nice because those actually pretty much never get removed. You don't have to worry about those. They don't get swapped for anything else. We have, you know, all the debuffs we need to spike damage, but we don't have a healing reduction. So the boss is going to heal frequently. We're just going to overpower the boss's defense with extra damage. If you don't do anything weird early on, the boss will always use this A2 before the A3. So you can kind of manipulate these a little bit depending on your team. If you want the boss to use the A3, then you need to get some debuffs on the boss. The boss will then flip those into buffs. But typically we're talking about like decrease attack, decrease defense, weaken. Those are the things that you're likely to bring. Obviously you got to watch the heal reduction, because the heal reduction can be flipped for continuous heals, which would strengthen the boss even more, or heal the boss even more. So if you're going to do that kind of thing, then you probably want a buff strip champion somewhere so that you can still get that damage out there. What I'm going to do, honestly, is just, I'm just going to A1 my way through this first turn, and then the boss will use the A1. I'm sorry, the A2. Yeah, so that was a pretty hard hit. And you can see Phoenix, even with 6 stars, almost died there. Actually got hit pretty hard. We could go with a debuff here. We could go for the decreased defense, decreased speed. Decreased speed won't land. I'm just going to hit. You can see it's a decent A1. It's nothing special. That wasn't, I mean, there were no buffs up there. There were no debuffs up there. So he'll hit harder later on. So we're going to get that debuff out there. Then let's go ahead and do the ally attack. We do have 9-piece protection on Cardiel. I recently rebuilt Cardiel. If anybody is interested in my Cardiel rebuild, let me know and I will do a video on him. Yeah, it was a massive rebuild, changed his build entirely. And because of that, he is starting to feature in more and more teams again, because he was starting to slide a little bit back in terms of like my power champions. He's right at the top again. He's literally probably my best champion again, even though, you know, for the last year or so, he's been sliding. Okay, so let's go ahead with Rage of the Nephilim. So this ignores 50% of the target's defense, right? We've got the 25% ignore defense from the lethal, and then we've got the 25% chance from Helm Smasher. So we could ignore 100% defense here, which is why I don't think maybe you need to go any higher with the ignore defense. But again, you know, that Helm Smasher doesn't always land. Okay, so now we're going to use Newt's Nuke. And you can see we did pretty well. I mean, we got the boss to almost 50% here. Now, the boss stunned us, which was a little bit frustrating. I don't want to use my cleanse here. All right, so this we got sleeped. Okay. Now this cannot be blocked. That's why I didn't use the block debuffs from Cardiel. It wouldn't have mattered. I put that up before, and even if it's not removable, it still doesn't block the sleep, so there's really nothing you can do there. But let's go ahead and I guess we'll just hit. Okay. Now, how many turns? We have 2 moons left, so we've got 2 turns of the boss. But he's going to use this A1, which, let's see, can potentially, he'll probably throw that at Newt. He usually does. I could put the Revive on Death on now. But I think Cardiel is fast enough that he'll get back around to another turn. So I'm going to wait 1 more turn. It'd be nice to get some poisons out there, but I guess not. Okay. Cardiel is fast enough, and so now we're going to put up the Revive on Death. Okay. Now we're going to use the Cleanse. And we should be able to kill him this time, right? We were able to take off 50%. All right, this is... Wait, this is weird. He didn't transform yet. He didn't transform yet? Is it glitched? No, I still have the... I got the moon up. Okay. I don't think he's transformed yet. Or maybe he did and... No, here it is. Okay, so that's the transform. All right, so now we put up the debuffs. This is going to be close because he did heal a decent amount there. Let's go ahead and hit him with the A1. That's a nice chunky A1. Once the debuffs are up, that was decent. But I don't have Siegfrund's A3 here because he got transformed. Because the boss forces that transform. But let's see if Newt is up to the task. No, doesn't look like it, but we've got an ally attack with Phoenix's A1. There we go. So Siegfrund actually, you know, he helps a lot in this case. Obviously, the damage. He brings healing on his transformed A1. He brings that cleanse debuff. And because he transforms, he doesn't actually get stuck in the sleep, which is really nice. So there are a lot of benefits to bringing him. And like I said, if I optimized him for PvE, I think I would do even better here. But as you can see, 47 turns. That's my best on Amius hard mode. That's the fewest number of turns. I know there are a lot faster teams that do it in like 7 turns or whatever, but I don't think I have one of those teams. Or I could probably build one of those teams if I really, really wanted to, but it would force me to sacrifice, you know, a lot as a free-to-play player to just like take 4 champions and say, put all that crazy gear on them just for this one fight, and the rotation changes. And then, you know, I'm going to have to change the gear next time and the next time and the next time. So yeah, maybe now that we're getting those extra daily free gear changes, maybe that's something I'll invest more in. But okay, let's go ahead and, yeah, we don't need that one. We don't need that one. Ooh, maybe I should have held on to that one. This is good. Oh, 5-star gear, you are a bane to my existence. I need 6-star gear. I need 6-star accessories. I need more stats. Doesn't even have it. All right, whatever. I'll hold on to those for now. I'll make the decision later, but those are probably going to go too. Oh, hey, we got a quest done. Okay, cool. So yeah, that is my team for this rotation, hard mode Amius. Let's actually... Oh, I can collect that. I'm getting closer. I'm at 465 out of 500. I'm getting closer. Getting closer to Carnage the Anarch. I haven't really pushed this. I can't tell you how many times I have not completed Amius. Like I unlock him in like 4 days or 5 days, whatever the minimum is, and then I'll literally forget about him and haven't cleared it. I would say at least 40% of the time I've just straight up forgotten about him, which is always disappointing, especially for a free-to-play player who needs to maximize his resources, and the rewards are so good from there, and that's just one of the places where you can get those accessories, so I don't want to miss out. I wonder if we can use the same... Oh, this is a different team, so you can see here. But I wonder how badly we could beat down Amius on normal mode. Do we have the same... Can we put together the same team? We can put together the same team. Let's see if we can just one-shot him. I've never been able to do that. That would be really fun. Let's see if we can one-shot him now. Are we fast enough to do this before he even goes? Let's just try that. That's not bad. Come on. All right, so more than 50% there. Ooh, that was a nice hit too. Okay, so now we get the stun and the transform, but the transform is going to let me do the cleanse. The problem is now he's got those buffs. That's unfortunate. We can get another weekend out there with Newt, and then we could try for a decreased defense here. Yeah, we got the decreased defense. All right, and now that was a big heal. That was a big heal, and all the debuffs were removed, and that's why it was so big. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay. Is he going to transform? He's not going to transform yet. Are we fast enough to get around to Newt's? We're fast enough to get around to Newt's nuke. We might be able to do it. I don't think we're fast enough. So close. If it was like 10 faster, we probably would have it. We would probably have it. All right, well. We'll just finish this off just to finish this off. We gotta not accidentally kill Amius too fast here. All right, so I actually think I've got to use Phoenix's other skills. Uh-oh. Oh, well. He is going to transform. Oh, we killed him. That's cool. I didn't even think of that. We killed him with Phoenix's A1, which had the block revive, so he didn't get to transform. And now we get to, maybe I'll keep that. Yeah, I think all of these are probably gone. 5-star gear is so... Oh, that's kind of good. All right. But yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's awesome. we hit it right on the nose with Phoenix's A1. All right, 45 turns. So 2 turns better than hard mode. Whatever. But that was still fun to mess around with our Sigrund. Okay, so now I got a little special treat here. I've defeated Amius. I get to go ahead and complete this Curse City mission. And now I'm on my last mission, my last Marius mission. So as a little bonus, I am going to do this right now. I'm going to jump over into Hydra. Let's go to Nightmare. I saved my Nightmare team just for this purpose. Where's my Nightmare team? It's this team. And this is where I was talking about Authorian with the Cat's Gaze. He's the only Cat's Gaze I've got on this account. Let's max out. Should be over 200 million on Nightmare. Ah, ouch. Okay. We got to do it again. Ooh. That was bad. It usually does it on the first turn. It could be an affinity issue. There we go. 201. Yeah, so it's probably an affinity issue. But 200 million, going to keep that result. And yeah, and that means, you know it, Marius is coming my way next time. I don't know when I'm going to collect him. I should just collect him now. I've actually been waiting on him. So I had it during the last PRCVC, but I'd already maxed out my personal rewards and we crushed our opponents that time. So I didn't need the points. And I didn't really have time to invest in like building them, but I want to build them. So on top of the Siegfrund builds, please let me know how you build your Marius, where you use him. Should I think PvP? I'm definitely thinking PvP with him, but is there a good build for a PvP, PvE hybrid? Because I'd love to do some speed farming. I want to speed farm everything. I want to make Raid Shadow Legends my biatch. That's what I want. I want to crush every bit of content that I can as quickly as possible so I can spend more time actually doing the fun parts of the game, and less time, doing the farming stuff. That's basically it. All right, so let's go just look at Marius. This guy's going to be mine in the coming days. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All right, so this was just kind of a fun video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for sticking around. And like I said, if you can help me out with any of those builds, whether it's for Siegfrund or Marius, or even somebody else like Phoenix, if you could have a good build for Phoenix that can make him really, really potent, let me know. All right, thanks so much for hanging out today. I have been Colred. I will see you in another video soon. So will this guy.